Les nègres battent nous gaz, moun bak à manger, moun bak à l'école, kidnapping, Martelly massif volé, faut Martelly chicher. Depuis tout le peuple a chiché Martelly.
On va regarder un pouvoir qui fait 5 ans. Il fait 5 ans côté Martelly avec Laurent Lamotte, coéquipier appauvri une classe moyenne.
Jusqu'au bout. En plus, ça me dit, moi, Jochal, merci. Pour t'être empêché Martelly de payer à blanc. Merci, moi, Jochal.
President Martelly says the allegations of fraud are unfounded.
La durée du mandat présidentiel est de 5 ans. Je laisse la magistrature suprême de l'État pour contribuer au retour à la normalité constitutionnelle. Mon plus grand regret, celui d'élections présidentielles différées. Martelly a passé, Haïti a prêté. Leur pensée, c'est Martelly ou fait mal, n'a casé brisé, c'est Haïti qu'on fait mal. Que bon Dieu bénisse nous et puis protéger Haïti. Aïe Bobo, merci un peu.
Now, what I find very interesting is anytime I do these videos, when the public opinion is very, very bad, it's hard to find any good that they did or any progress this person has done during their presidency. And of course, this was very, very hard to find. But for the most part, Sweet Micky is known for establishing more paved roads, greater access to education, better foreign relationships and business ties, less extreme poverty, especially in terms of the tent communities that were established right after the earthquake. They went from 1.5 million tents to 60,000 tents, which is incredible. So definitely big ups to him for that. And a stronger police force. All of that was great, but to be quite honest with you, the entire presidency was extremely disappointing. I just have to say, it really was. Like, damn, he was a whole fucking pop star. This is degular shit. I could have fucking did that. I feel like this is the shit that degular presidents did. I feel like this is what PREVAL did. This is what Aristide did. It's regular. Like, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be an asshole here. Like, listen, I still love him, okay? I'm probably gonna listen to Sweet Micky as soon as I'm done filming this. But the real concern here was not even the voter fraud or everything else. It was more so Micky as a character. So, of course, like I said, no one expected him to win. But at this point, a lot of people were seeing him as a pro-DUVALIERist. Now, you guys are probably like, what does that mean and what's wrong with that? Now, if you guys did not watch my DUVALIER videos, you guys definitely have to watch them, linked down below or carded up above. DUVALIER was a dictator in Haiti for a very long time, way, way back. And basically, if you guys did not catch the reference in the beginning, his dad was a Shell oil executive, most likely kicking it with the DUVALIERs, etc. And what makes people really think that he was a DUVALIERist is his hatred for Aristide. Yes, we got president beef, motherfuckers, but we're gonna get into that in 2.5. Let me get into the other stuff real quick. Another thing that people were very concerned with, kind of ties into what I just said, is his name. You guys ever wonder where the Sweet Micky came from? Well, I'm gonna tell you. His name comes from a notorious police chief who was known for killing numerous people in the name of DUVALIER, and his name was Sweet Micky. He loved Michel Martelly's music so much that he literally would go see him all the time, like literally like every night or every time he played in Pétionville, he would go see him and he was like, yo, I love your music, I love you so much, like I want to give you my name, you should call yourself Sweet Micky from now on. And literally that's what happened. And to be honest, to play devil's advocate, that doesn't necessarily make you a bad person or necessarily mean you're in cahoots with a DUVALIERist, but it does look a little sus when you're kicking it with someone and taking the nickname of someone who is known to be out here killing people in the name of someone who used to be a motherfucking dictator. But I digress. And what makes it worse is the political references that people have thought to have been made in his music. Ooh La La is one that people say has a lot of political references. To be honest, I don't see it. The whole pro-DUVALIER situation was just very problematic because a lot of people were kind of still recovering from DUVALIER being president in the first place. DUVALIER was a very, very malicious dictator. Love him or hate him, he did kill a lot of people. A lot of people suffered at the hands of his dictatorship. A lot of people were killed, exiled, gone missing, still in prison. So the thought of having someone who was pro-DUVALIERist in office was very, very terrifying because we went from Aristide to PREVAL and we're trying to restore Haiti to what it was before DUVALIER, to someone who most likely was pro-DUVALIER, pro what he was about, and kind of represented who he was, who was part of that class. It kind of just was not good. And to be honest, now that I think about it, was a recipe for disaster. And to make it worse, he's allegedly out here partying with right-wing thugs. Yes, okay? And there were lots of people that were seeing him party with a lot of people who have been known to murder people in the name of DUVALIER, who have been known to fuck up shit in the name of DUVALIER, the people that were right-wing. And of course, this also did not look good. And one thing that was especially troubling for a lot of people was the fact that he wanted to re-establish the army. Now, if you guys did not watch my Aristide video, Aristide, when he became president, this was actually very, very controversial. He actually abolished the Haitian military. This was not necessarily to be malicious in a way, but it kind of had to be done because, like I said, this was after DUVALIER, and the reason this had to be done is because, like I said, DUVALIER was out here killing motherfuckers in the street, okay? Not only was there the Haitian military, there was Tonton Makou, and they kind of like crossbred each other, and both of them were very, very corrupt. Both of them were out here killing civilians and killing any and everything that was against the government. And to be quite honest, it was a very, very deep conflict of interest to have them. On a surface level, it made sense to kind of disband them and reform them. But with all the hoopla and the bullshit that was going on, I believe that it just wasn't in their cards. And it wasn't even in their budget to go and reform the Haitian army, to be quite honest with you. I'm not sure why it never got reformed. If someone could comment down below why it never got reformed, I never really looked into that. But for the most part, you know, Mickey wanted to reform it. To be honest, I don't think that's that big of a deal. I mean, it's been mad long now. I think it could be reformed. But I think people were more concerned at the fact that we have more things to worry about in terms of, nigga, we hungry as fuck, feed us first. But a lot of people were concerned, I think mainly because it was disbanded for a reason. There's still concerns of people being pro-DUVALIERist, probably trying to rejoin the army and make Haiti a DUVALIERist type of utopia again. Not even utopia. What's the opposite of utopia? You get the point. So a lot of people were actually very, very upset by this plan of his. Like, listen, very, very bad idea. And honestly, we're gonna have to pause on that one. The shit that he did after that made it worse, because this is where the whole Clinton conspiracy comes in and why a lot of Haitians did not vote for Hillary Clinton. This is why a lot of people hate the Clintons. Now, you guys are probably wondering, where the fuck do the Clintons come in this? Now, the thing is with Mickey that I just don't understand and I just hate. This is why you don't let people that don't have experience in shit do shit. Because when they get in office and when they get important jobs, they do dumb shit like let their friends and their allies hold very important jobs. One of the main problems that Mickey did is he let all his friends and family hold positions. Horrible, ridiculous, and stupid. And part of one of his stupid decisions is on this whole mission of reestablishing the Haitian army, he went and put the Clintons on the board. Yes, Bill Clinton, I believe, and I believe Hillary. I don't know if Hillary's on it, but I'm just gonna put the Clintons, okay? Because when you married, you won, bitch. You won. He went and put the Clintons on the board to reestablish the Haitian goddamn military. Guys, put two and two together. If you guys are not catching the drift, if you guys are not aware, there's a reason why a lot of Haitians actually voted for Trump and not Hillary. To be quite honest, a lot of Haitians don't trust Hillary Clinton, mainly because they believe that the Clintons, period, stole a lot of money from Haiti. Most importantly, stole a lot of earthquake funds from Haiti. So if you can't put the connection together, Clintons were on the board to reestablish the Haitian military. Why the fuck are white people, better yet, old white politicians who aren't even president anymore on the board to reestablish the Haitian military. Make it fucking make sense. So one major conspiracy and major problem and major allegation is that Sweet Micky was in cahoots with the Clintons to move money back and forth from Haiti to America to embezzle it. Because of course, no video about a Haitian president is complete without the embezzlement and stealing of funds of Haiti from the National Treasury. Mind you, this is right after the earthquake. And what makes things worse is there's lots of people that was giving money, and to this day, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if not now, for years he was under investigation because lots of money, lots of countries and lots of companies gave him money and no one knows where this money went. Dominican Senator Felix Batista gave Haiti $350 million for reconstruction, and he gave that directly to Sweet Micky. And as you guys can see, it ain't there. We don't see it. Ain't nothing being motherfucking-structed. And I'm very, very sure, as you guys can quite imagine, Batista is very upset about this. Now, his company actually donated this money, and of course, this, with a lot of other money that was donated to Haiti, has never been seen, never been found, and never been accounted for to this day. He didn't even have a prime minister for a good chunk of his presidency. And honestly, a lot of his cabinet or whatever was being moved around because he literally could not make decisions that were adequate enough for everyone to approve of. So as you can imagine, with no prime minister, you can't make any real decisions. He kept giving people that were not qualified jobs, and it's like, nigga, what the fuck are you doing? And people are really, really upset at this. And that's what happens if you're literally sitting there fighting all day. You're fighting people, trying to put people in position that shouldn't be in power. You're wasting time. You're wasting valuable time that could be given to the people that can be used to be making legitimate decisions. What's even worse is his cousin and former prime minister, ironic, right? Jean Bellerive, listen, I can't say it, was actually being investigated for over $300 million in lost funds. And now this was his advisor. Oh, no. It gets worse. Dr. Gary Cornell actually ended up being his prime minister. He called Mickey and his cousin out. He said, y'all need to be investigated for all this money that's going missing. Something's fishy here. And he was forced to leave, and he was replaced by Laurent Lamont. And to be honest with you, I don't even understand why the fuck he did this, but of all the presidents that I've covered, this has to be the only one that actually makes perfect sense. Every time that I've read them, I honestly, in terms of character, kind of believed it, but this one, it's like, ooh, child, I don't want to say he did it, because it's like, nigga, you had your own money, but when you really put two and two together, I mean, your houses are in foreclosure, now you move to Haiti, you run for president, now you putting presidents on board for shit that they shouldn't be on board from, and all of a sudden money's going missing, because let's be real, why the fuck does Haiti still look like that with all the millions of dollars that went to it? And that shit actually really pisses me off, because it's like, come on now. If you're gonna steal money, make it a lot less noticeable, bruh. Honestly, I just went on a whole tangent. I really did, but this actually kind of infuriates me, because of all the presidents that I've looked into, this is probably the only one I could say where it's like, it actually kind of flows, it kind of connects the dots, because it's like, people are giving you a lot of money. There's millions of aid pouring into Haiti at this point. This is directly after the earthquake. And for whatever reason, no one knows where this money is. And you're saying you don't know where it is. Bitch, yes the fuck you do. Yes the fuck you do. The whole beef with Aristide. Let's get into that. So there is numerous videos, recordings of him saying, fuck you, Aristide.
Nous va fonctionner en pile. Nous l'enquête maman pays. Mais a fait rance la gouvernement boy Kaka. Sweet Micky dit no, enough is fucking enough. Et pour nèg qui pas content, li mettre courir sous moi. In case you don't know where I live, my address is Boston City, qui j'ai hôtel la relé. Holiday Inn next to the Vincent. Yeah, I'll be waiting for you, motherfucker. Bagat Lavalas. D'ailleurs depuis Lavalas la vinn sous moi pour connaître li. Lavalas la gon Jean l'aide en pile. Yeah, fuck Santi Kaka, get maman Lavalas. Fuck that shit, man. On a gonna pas parler, yo pas empêcher Michel Martelly parler. That's bullshit, man. Là, get maman Lavalas là. Là, get maman Jean-Bertrand Aristide. Ça pas content courir sur Michel Martelly. Get maman.
I'm not joking, y'all. This is very, very serious. What does this remind you of? Trump or not? Literally. He's saying things like, you smell like shit. And anytime someone would confront him or say anything or ask him these things in an interview, he would be very, very candid about it. He didn't give no fucks. And anytime he would get really annoyed, he would literally just drop a song about it. Like, he's dropped so many songs at this point. I kid you not, I think I discover a new Sweet Micky song every other week. He would drop a song about any and everything. Anything that made him mad, anybody that pissed him off, he would drop a song about it instead of addressing the real issue. And that was another issue that a lot of people were having. It was just like, how's this man gonna run this country when he can't even handle his issues head on? He can't address people directly in a mature manner. He drops music, he throws tantrums, he curses people out. He doesn't know how to have a mature conversation. The hate train for Aristide was very serious with Mickey, because even before he was president with the other Mickey, okay, the one he got his nickname from, he performed for free at the airport for a rally for a UN representative. If you guys do not remember, there was a time where Aristide was exiled, okay? Aristide was allegedly kidnapped, exiled, we don't know, because at this point, that story's a hot ass mess. Haitian politics could be a fucking Netflix series at this point, but whatever. He was gone and they were trying to like get him back, and they were gonna have all these meetings, and they sent a UN representative to come talk to the Haitian government to negotiate his return. And basically over 700 plus Haitians showed up to the airport to stop this from happening. And Sweet Micky came there to perform. And he did not just perform, he was like a goddamn activist that day. He was not letting that damn UN representative come in at all. Like, he literally had an entire protest there, did not let the person come in. And it's very interesting, and it says a lot. He says that he's not a DUVALIERist, but it's like, you don't want Aristide to come back. And you guys are probably like, okay, maybe he just doesn't like Aristide, which honestly, that's what he said. When he was asked about this, he was like, you know what, I just don't like Aristide. I don't want him to come back, and I am a citizen of this country. I am Haitian, and to be quite honest with you, I don't need to want him to come back. And that's why I did it. And to be quite honest, I think that's fair. I think that's very fair. He probably just really didn't want him to come back. Like, he probably just didn't really like him as a president. But for a lot of people that kind of solidified it, they were like, okay, yep, you have to be a DUVALIERist. You have a pop star who is known for wearing pink wigs, drag diapers, getting naked, and doing everything else under the sun, cursing in his music, dragging journalists, dragging anyone who critiques him in the media left and right as president. Someone who does not know how to have a civil conversation with anyone who opposes him as president, who literally has supporters burning shit down all over the country as president. Someone who basically is saying that they're going to reestablish the army with the Clintons on the board as president. Someone who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, who literally has their friends in mind put on the board on the national government as president. You guys cannot understand the amount of fucking disarray and depression a lot of these Haitians were feeling at this point. You just got an earthquake. Most of these people are living in tents at this point. They're hungry, they're tired. A lot of them need medical attention. They're going through this very, very stressful ass earthquake, very, very dire situation. And now they have to deal with this duck ass nigga. This is not okay, bro. And for the most part, a lot of people were happy because they were kind of hopeful. But for the most part, for a lot of people that were thinking very, very strategically and thinking ahead of time, they're like, this is really one of the dumbest things ever. What the fuck did we just do? It didn't really go that well. Now, to be honest, from what I see, it wasn't really that bad, but it wasn't really that great. Now, there's a lot of people out there that will say that, you know, he was out here killing people and stealing money and all of that. Listen, the regular shit. Every Haitian president has the same allegations: embezzling money, sending people to kill people that oppose them. Nothing new. There was a lot of human rights activists in Haiti being killed suspiciously that no one ever found out about. Like, no one ever found the answers about. There were random attacks on journalists and like lots of like TV and news stations. Oh, the one that was especially mysterious was the one on Radio Keskia. Not saying it's true, not saying it's not. However, I feel like it's very interesting how everyone says the same shit about every president. It's like, can y'all please stop electing the same fucking people then? And I don't get it, because it's not like they elect the same people. We have rich people, poor people, shit, we had a whole damn priest, and y'all still had the same allegations for him. So I don't know what we want. What do we want, Haiti? Please, what do we want? Like, we had a damn pop star, for God's sake. What do we want? Because at this point, I don't know. I really don't know. For the most part, from what I've noticed, because I was definitely well aware and well alive at the time, Haiti was just at a standstill. I ain't seen no goddamn progress going on in Haiti at the time. Not in the news, not from any of my family or anybody else that I knew living in Haiti at the time. I didn't see anything. It was just mad stagnant. That's just my personal opinion. Comment down below if you guys were living in Haiti at the time, or if you guys observed anything from any of your family members. Because to be honest, from what I remember, everything was very, very stagnant. This was very recent. Like I said, 2011 to 2016. Very stagnant, nothing really, really significant. And for the most part, I feel like his presidency let a lot of people down for the most part, because he just spent a lot of his time talking shit. But let's be real, like, what the fuck did y'all expect? That's what the fuck his reputation was. His reputation was talking shit. Like, I don't understand. That's like putting me as president. What y'all expect me to do? I talk shit for a living. Like, come on now. Come on. A perfect example of this is what he did when he ended up leaving office. He literally released a song for journalist Lillian Paul called Give Her the Banana. Bal Bannann Nan. Yes, give her the banana. Listen, this nigga is disrespectful, bruh. He is so fucked up for that. A lot of the lyrics consisted of give her the banana from the front, give it to her from the back, give it to her raw, peel the banana, etc. Listen, you guys understand what I'm talking about. But as nasty as that sounds, the actual meaning of it was the banana man, which was actually Jovenel Moise, which is supposed to be the successor, which is currently the president right now of Haiti. Basically, the only reason he used the banana as a reference was because Jovenel Moise always called himself the banana man, because he actually oversaw a banana franchise or enterprise, because there was actually another candidate called Moise, and he kind of had to differentiate himself. I'm gonna give you a good regime. Since you want to talk shit about me, I'm gonna give you that good banana since you want to talk shit about me. I mean, it sounds nasty when you actually read the words and hear the song, but essentially that's what the reference was supposed to be. But since he's vulgar, you already know he has to make that shit sound nasty, and it's a decent song. It's funny as hell, but fucked up. To be honest, with all of Mickey's antics, I really want to know if Trump really was just like watching that entire thing and was like, I'm gonna be just like Sweet Micky, because everything that man was fucking doing was just like, what the fuck? And mind you, this is like right before Trump's run. Like, this is 2011 to 2016. So it just really makes you wonder, like, damn, was this man just watching Sweet Micky like, oh my God, this is my father, bruh. Like, I'm his fucking son, because Jesus. Like, how could people act like this? I wonder if they met. They probably playing golf together right fucking now. They probably playing golf right now. They probably watching this video like, this bitch, she figured out our plan. This presidency was really like, it shouldn't have happened. It really shouldn't have. Mainly because he just was not qualified to do the job. And honestly, I've seen a lot of people that weren't qualified to be president in a lot of research that I've done for other videos. And this shit, it wasn't this fucking bad. It really wasn't. Now, here is the end of the road for Sweet Micky. Because, woo child, this shit was not sweet no more. This shit turned sour. Bagala got the net. So at this point, Haitians were very, very fed up, because they are not seeing none of the earthquake funds. They're not seeing any progress. They're still hungry. They're very much so tired, and they're not seeing anything that Mickey has done. Like, they're like, you've done absolutely nothing. Like, nothing. And now Mickey is flaunting his new $9 million beachfront mansion. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the same man that came from America because his houses were foreclosed to come and announce that he wanted to run for president, now has a $9 million beachfront man. Make it make sense. Make it. And of course, many believe that this was made with Haiti's stolen money. Listen, it was a lot of shady shit going on. It's like you're buying mansions, you ain't doing shit, but you got time to be literally ordering hits on fucking journalists and human rights activists who are trying to help us. Nah, bro, you gotta fucking go. But he insisted on having these runoff elections. Now, this was at the end of his term. He's essentially in his last year. And if you guys are not aware, February 7th was the day that DUVALIER ran off, okay? Baby Doc ran off into his exile. But this was the same day that Sweet Micky was forced to step down. Because the Haitian people was tired. They was fed up. They said, listen, if you don't leave, we gonna burn shit down again. So get the fuck out.
Opposition protesters in Haiti are now demanding that the outgoing President Michel Martelly steps down immediately before the elections are held. Demonstration continued even after the Sunday's presidential runoff election was postponed. We don't like him because what he's doing in the palace is bad. He hasn't done anything for the people, this man says. Opposition leaders have vowed to continue with the protests and keep up the pressure on Martelly to leave office immediately in order to have a fair election.
People were very, very tired of Mickey at this point. Everyone turned their backs on him. I'm talking about all the elite families in Haiti. I'm talking about America, foreign governments, parliament, from America to Canada. Everyone was very fed up with him, mainly because he didn't do anything, and everything that people were giving, no one was seeing. And of course, this is something that constantly happens with Haiti, but they didn't expect it with him, because not only was he a pop star, but he already maintained a relationship with a lot of these people outside of politics. And then on top of that, it's like, nigga, you have your own money. So we would hate to say that you stealing money, because we don't really have the proof, but that's what it fucking looks like. And that's pathetic at this point. Usually it's like people on the outskirts, people on the opposing end. This was like everybody was upset. Like people were really mad because everyone was just like, bro, like this is not the time. Like everyone is suffering and now you're making people really suffer, and it's just not acceptable. It was to the point where people in the paramilitary were burning shit down. People in the, like people that were part of the government were rioting and protesting in Haiti, burning police stations and shit. Yo, this was very serious. This was like a different type of protesting in Haiti. Usually it's like people on the outskirts, people on the opposing end. This was like everybody was upset. Like people were really mad because everyone was just like, bro, like this is not the time. Like everyone is suffering and now you're making people really suffer, and it's just not acceptable.
It's the final moments of a 5-year presidency. Taking his final minutes in office. Taking pictures. Walking out to a grateful staff. Martelly fighting back the tears. But this is a president who lives in the moment, and that makes him no match for emotion. Unconventional until the very end. Dancing with security guards with big guns on their backs. Turning over a social program he started for people who used to live on the streets. Haiti's constitution says Martelly must be out of office 1 minute after midnight Saturday night. President Michel Martelly leaving the grounds of the palace for one final time as president of his country.
With that being said, that was a lot. Actually having to research and read up on all of that was a headache, okay? It really was, and it made me very, very tired. Hope you guys had your tea, your snacks, and everything, because that was a lot to go through, okay? Honestly, still love his music, but to be quite honest, that was a very trash-ass presidency, and I do honestly believe that he definitely took a good amount of money from Haiti, only because the evidence does suggest it. Just the circumstantial evidence suggests it. A lot of this doesn't really add up. A lot of the dots are connecting in a way that they should not. And I would hate for that to happen. I would hope someone is able to kind of change my mind down in the comment section. Maybe like I'm just seeing this too surface level. Maybe there's another way for me to see it, but as of right now, it's like, ooh, child, you look like you was going broke and you literally became president so you could take money. That's really what it sounds like. What the general consensus is with his presidency. But with that being said, comment down below. What do you guys think about this video? What do you think about President Michel Joseph Martelly, aka Sweet Micky? Who was your favorite president and why? With that being said, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, and do all that. And I'm gonna see y'all next time.